soO. So how this works. If Classic loses 2-0, Gumiho will advance in second place. If Classic wins one map, he will get through in second place. If Classic wins 2-0, he will go through in first place. Top left-hand side, our blue Protoss player Classic. As we have to the bottom right, our red Zerg, soO. So if soO wins this, again, as long as Classic gets the map, he advances. soO's like, really? I advanced already? I love it. So, yeah, as long as Classic gets the map, he advances through here. But again, like if he wins 2-0, he gets first place in the group, which obviously is generally a better seed. So first place in the group actually puts you on the side of the map with a Laser, Zest, and Namshar. Or on the side of the bracket with a Laser, Zest, and Namshar. Second will get you on the side of the bracket with Mana, Innovation, and Raynor, because Raynor will be replacing Clem. So yeah, that's going to be quite funky. Let me just actually tell the... TLMC guys that to update it on the Wikipedia. So, getting this ready to go, we do see early game Stargate going to be the choice of Classic actually. So, the Stargate coming up over in the main base here, getting that established. And meanwhile, this Adept Corona boosting out for Classic, so that's going to be coming across the map in the next few moments. Third hatchery on the bottom side of the map. Queen from soO will come forwards and throw down a creep tumor as well, so getting that running. As the link speed also on the way up in the main, so everything pretty typical so far. I wouldn't say there's any kind of sound for alarms or anything like that. As we do just see the Stargate again about to finish. One of the things I'm going to mention I haven't mentioned just yet today, guys, just we have a bit of a slow startup here, is that if you do enjoy these games and you want to get your hands on the replays are available either on the Patreon page, patreon.com/WardiTV, for $5 plus patrons, or you can get them for subscribing to the channel right here on Twitch. So, again, you can either subscribe right here, or you can go to the Patreon page, but you will get all of these replays from today, yesterday's group, and all of the playoffs as well. They'll be coming out to you guys very soon, hopefully at the end of the weekend. I'm going to do it on Sunday night is the plan. Stalker nibbling its way through this Overlord, so Overlord taking some damage here, and actually might go down, but it's going to be seeing the Stargate. We will see the Phoenix start up anyways from Classic, even though the Overlord's being killed. Still nice to get that Phoenix. It can still add a lot of... You can like lift the Queen and let the Oracle get a couple more kills. You can also see it sometimes just patrol in certain areas and sort of watching for Overseers and so on. So it's not a bad unit to have on your side, as the Oracle gets one kill right away. And Classic very quickly here goes into a Twilight Council. Resonating Glaives going to start chrono boosting out with 3 more gates added on. So this is going to be a pretty fast aggressive build here from Classic. While soO goes into the Lair already. Now Lair generally joined by a Roach Roar in here. And that would be actually a pretty good setup to help against these Adepts. Roaches are very good. I mean, Classic will rely on kind of soO being underprepared initially. Because if the Roaches are there already, you're in a lot of trouble. So, yeah, you're kind of getting a lot of trouble here right away if you kind of... Like, the Roaches are there, the Adepts just aren't going to do much. You try and shade past, the Roaches just run over already. If the Roaches aren't out, the Adepts all of a sudden can, you know, already start shading around, and then you're trying to grab Roaches from all over the place, get them to catch up with the Adepts, and you just, like, that momentum is so hard to then catch up on, so... Roach roaring down, Roaches able to be made from soO is already a good little scenario for him. As do you see the Stalker picking up a little bit of damage on a couple of those Lings right there. He's doing pretty well on that so far, as we do see the Lings coming down the bottom side. The Adepts shading down the left-hand side of the map as well. A few Roaches on the way up. The Immortal Chrono boosting out a couple of Adepts in production still. I mean, this looks as though it's going to be that kind of Immortal Adept follow-up all in. So Classic really looking to be very aggressive. He already shading the Adepts, and he does go to the straight up to the far right-hand side now. And here we go, Adepts shading forwards again. They're going to be hopping up into the main base, so they're going to be going after some of these drones. Jumping into this, a lot of Lings are going to jump on this, but Well, the roaches are here as well. Let's see what the adepts can do. Now they're going to start shading away. He'll still have a pretty decent number left. 3-4 workers so far. He's going to go down to the natural, where there's only really a couple of queens and a couple of roaches to deal with this. So the drone count still dropping. 13 kills so far. We also have 2 adepts on the third base, which are actually going huge on their own. And those other adepts are going to get out of there alive. Where are these 2 adepts going? I think they're also shading backwards. Yeah, so everyone's just shading back up to the top side of the map now. Wow, okay, so soO is actually in a bit of trouble here. 17 workers lost is obviously a huge amount, and as 3 more gates come up, we will just be seeing, you know, Classic setting up in towards this Immortal all-in. So Classic looking very good here already in Game 1, and again, remember, winning game number 1 means he will guarantee himself to advance through this group alongside soO. And then we'll be fighting over first or second place in the group, going into game number 2 of the series. A few more depths, a couple of sentries warping in. 1 more Immortal is being produced, but obviously that's going to have to walk across the map on its own. Where even is the robo? There it is. Sorry, it was right under my nose. I just couldn't see it there for a second. It means it's only 1 Immortal in this prism right away, or in this fight right away. There is already 1 other coming across the map. And a bit of an interesting, I mean, just a little bit delayed essentially here to begin with. It is going to join up in a moment or two. These Adepts, Sentries, and Immortals dodging away from those couple of corrosive bars. Force fields drop down, and we are going to be seeing those Ravagers going to get picked away at here. Immortals kiting back now. Adepts picking away through the Ravagers once again, and well, these Roaches are just not going to do very much again. soO will really struggle just because he lost so much to these initial Adepts in the first fight, first time around. It's then very difficult for him to get enough units up, and I think you can already see this here, that there's just not really enough units to fight this off. Those Immortals are chunking their way through Roaches as they show up. The Lings are dying very quickly to the Adepts. It's a very powerful combination, this Adept Immortal style. It doesn't work so well against higher numbers because Zealots are just better. That's why you see, you know, the Adepts are only really kind of brought in when you kind of go for this very fast attack after a glaive opening, where you hope to deal some damage initially anyways. But yeah, in this sort of scenario, they do so very well. And soO, well, he's kind of backing away. He's trying to hold on here. His army supply is down, though. He's already lost 10 more drones throughout this as well. And as these few Roaches go down, they suddenly did just get deleted. Another few Adepts opening as well. Another drone or so dying off on the third hatchery here. A couple of corrosive bars connecting. Not doing too much, though. Immortal still pressing forwards. That is going to be a GG. Classic is going to take game number 1 of this best of 3. And that is Classic. So let's wrap up this Group D potentially. As we have to the top right-hand side, our blue Protoss player from Makers. This is Classic. Bottom left-hand side, our red Zerg player from Chivo. It is soO. Okay, guys. Polaris is this map with some of these slow zones. I kind of like the use of these slow zones on this map. I feel like this map's had a couple good games on it. We haven't really seen this slow zone come into play too much, but we've not really seen a lot of players getting out to bases on this side, which I feel like would be really where this slow zone becomes very influential. We have had some fights happening around this slow zone here and this slow zone down here, which have been pretty intriguing. So it's I'm a fan of this map. I'm just going to go out there and say I kind of like the way that it's done. I wouldn't say it's necessarily my favorite map of this map pool, but I have enjoyed some of the games that we've had on it. It's been enjoyable, as we do have the probe coming down the bottom side, having a little look to see what's going on in these early stages. So probe coming down to the bottom into the main base again. Nice little scout to start things off, and just waiting to see where this game is going to take us over the next few moments. So just, yeah, trying to get this set up, see where we go. We're pulling all the way back down to the bottom. A couple of overlords in a couple of different positions as well, just kind of spreading themselves out. Simulator drops down in the main. And there's that Nexus on the natural, Cybercore as well. So this Overlord heading up to the upper right side. Probe is going to come back along. So he's going to take the third hatch on this very cool base, by the way, with this kind of translucent floor, transparent floor. And there's a hologram of a Zergling below there. Oh, and of Karen. Okay. What else shows up? Oh, DNA. Right. And what else? What is that? A rib cage? And back to the Zergling. Is there anything... Oh yeah, this map is this map with this... I don't know what these are, but I kind of wondered about this last time and I didn't really mention it. I don't know what these are. What do you guys think these are? Just like frozen spikes? So it's just a very random thing to suddenly find on the... Where I was kind of looking around the corners of the map, you know. There's not too much hidden around this map. Rubber facility opening from Classic here, so just getting that set up pretty quickly. Obviously changing it up from that Stargate that we saw in game number 1. Obviously a Robo gives you options to go for some more aggressive Immortal-based all-ins. As you see this gateway as part of this wall-off, so wall-off at the front here. So you're going to be sending an Overlord down the right-hand side, another Overlord heading across as well. And the Warp Prism just going to start Corona boosting from Classic. So that's going to be out in a few moments as well. A couple of extra gates dropping down in the main base. The Stalker looked like it was running really funny to me. I don't know why, but I feel like this... I don't know if I've just noticed the legs on the Stalker or something. I was just like, why is that Stalker running around weird? Oh, it just looked like he was kind of like waddling along. He's like... trying to get wherever he can. 4 more gateways on the way up from Classic in the main base, so getting that established as we do see a Zergling, a couple of extra Zerglings heading to the top left-hand corner. Classic coming all the way out over to the left-hand side here, so if an Adept inside the War Prism, he apply a little bit of pressure. He's already going into these extra gates that we mentioned, right? So he actually already has kind of a swell of gateways, so it's going to be kind of something just akin to a bit of a gateway all-in almost. I mean, 6 gates? Is he just straight up going like 6, 7 gate all-in? Oh my god, he actually is. Wow. How often do you see like a 7 gate all-in in nowadays? Like, it just doesn't happen. Like, yeah, with a Robo and an Immortal or whatever, but this is actually just straight up like 7 gates of units that are going to warp in. Well, here come the sentries. I mean, I'd imagine he wants to add on a few Stalkers as well, because the Stalkers are going to be very good at kind of dealing damage to, like, especially like Roaches or so. Oh, a few sentries actually fighting Queens in the center of the map. Lings are going to get here, though. There's nothing to protect these Lings, and the Warp Prism warp in. It's coming into the left-hand side. Oh my god, the sentries are actually going to do okay, but now all of the force fields have been used. He has to recall away. The Zealots are going to start going in towards the third base. No charge or anything, though. I mean, with half of the army going back home, I feel like Classic's just fallen apart already, because suddenly there's no synergy between these two armies. And now, of course, you just kind of get overrun a little bit. Queen's already jumping onto that Prism, and I think that's a denial on the warp-in. No, it's not. It's a little too late, but there's no further warp-ins coming through. And backing away now, waiting for some more Roaches to spawn. I mean, the Lings should be able to turn and fight with this, with Roaches as well. The Queen's here too. I think Classic is just going to get cleaned up, and Classic's going to type out GG as well, because he is very all-in with this. Obviously, that between Classic and soO. Again, this is our final game from the Team Liquid Map Contest Tournament today, but we will have more for you guys in the form of the Aces Rock Qualifier. I know I keep mentioning that. I just want you guys to know that even though it's the final game of this tournament, we have another tournament we're going to cast. The StarCraft passion is overwhelming. Top left-hand side, our blue Protoss player from Makers. This is Classic. Up against the red Zerg from Chivo in the bottom right-hand side, soO. And he's been super good in this group today, guaranteeing himself first place. Can he do it with a 4-0 though? Obviously needs to win this map to make that happen. That means we are guaranteed. We actually have a playoff bracket tomorrow now, guaranteed, by the way. So tomorrow's playoff bracket is going to be Mana versus Classic, Innovation versus Raynor, Zest versus a Laser, and soO versus Namshar. Those 4 best of 5s will take place from 1 PM CEST. So I'll see you guys right here from 1 PM CEST tomorrow for those quarterfinals. Semi-finals and finals play on Sunday at 1 PM CEST. That's 2 best of 7s and a best of 9. So make sure you look forward to that. And that's right here, right now, we get into this EVP though. And this one's kind of for fun, kind of for, I guess, prosperity for the players. Again, even if Classic wins this, he's only 3-1 with a worse map score than soO, so... Still, these guys, you know, they like to get clean sheets, they like to get their records against each other. They love their Aligulac points, you know, so... I'm sure they'll be, sharpening it up. I'm sure they're not just going to throw 12 drones into the middle of the map and try and drone rush their opponent, you know. Nothing crazy like that. What's up, Jeputera? Thank you so much for that Twitch Prime sub for 7 months in a row. I can feel the passion. So can I, man. I'm feeling it today. I am feeling it today. Thank you so much for the 7-month resub. Do appreciate it. As an adept, going to start chrono boosting out. Twilight Council drops down from Classic in the main base. And we're just going to be seeing again this Overlord having a little bit of a fly around here as well. So, getting this set up, getting this ready to go. Twilight Council on the way, going to be finishing in the back of this main in just a moment or so. And it's going to be a third kind of different opening in a row here from Classic then. From a Stargate to Twilight, and then in the second game just a straight up Robo 7 gate. Oh, yep, score is 0-0, sorry, it is 1-1 of course. That's because I stood up at the start of this game to start talking and to stretch my legs a little bit. I forgot to set the score. How dare I? How dare I? Stalker here, going to push this Overlord up through the main Robo facility and a Dark Shrine dropping down. So it is just going to be that Archon drop opener as we do have the Zergling moving back along over this left-hand side. Yeah, a couple of Lings just kind of keeping some vision on the map. Ling speed will finish, so keeping that vision will become a little bit easier for soO here in the next little while. Now, soO at Home Story Cup showed us a lot of, very mid-game focused. By the way, this is like the black hole of death down there. Overlord is like, God, I hope my floating devices don't fill, because I am just going to be gone. Oh, no, there is. Is there a ground down there? Oh, I can see the floor. It's just a long drop. There's a little bit of light down there. Oh, well, that takes away from the mystery of it. I preferred it when there was more mystery. I guess you can see it over there, too. But soO was very aggressive at Home Story Cup. He played a much more mid-game style of ZVP than setting up into Infestors and trying to play late game. So he was very aggressive. And that seems to be the style of a lot of the Korean Zergs in ZVP in general, right? Playing a lot of, hey, I'm going to, set up, I'm going to attack. I'm just going to not let you get into the later stages. So a lot of the Korean Zergs have been playing that way, soO especially. So, thinking about, very aggressive attacks, maybe +1 timings or so. Maybe just, again, anything that ends the game before that 10-minute marker. Stop the Protoss player getting onto 4 bases. Obviously, right now, soO will have to defend against Classic's Warp Prison, but, oh! He loses the Spore Crawler here, and the DTs are going to start swiping the third hatchery. That's because his Queens and the Lings were just chasing after an empty Prism. And that is going to be a dead hatchery here, so soO is going to lose access to the hatch. However, he will get 4 DTs. The recall does not go off in time. So he does kill all 4 Dark Templar. Loses a hatchery. Starts up Roach Speed. And for a moment he started Burrow. Now he cancels that. So Roach Speed coming through. One finishes. No, Dark Templar finished up. I mean, without the DTs, obviously, you have to reinvest into those to be able to harass as Archons. So you kind of lose that Archon harass, which is obviously a bit of a shame. Oh my god, don't lose another one. Okay, Classic saves it. I thought maybe these Lings would be able to get a cancel on the third, but that doesn't happen. So I guess in a way, though, soO can be kind of greedy with the fact that, again, there's no Archon drop on the map. Unless Classic wants to slow down other parts of his tech to reinvest into. I guess now it's only like 2 more DTs, so yeah, but it wasn't there for a few moments, right? So it still gave soO that little while. But look at soO, by the way, just roaches. Roach speed finishing shortly. We talked about him liking to be aggressive. Obviously, this is kind of him, having his hand being forced. And I guess he doesn't really need drones yet because the third hatchery isn't done and he's already got 2 base saturation. So I guess that does make a lot of sense here as that probe gets caught as well. And back up to the top here. Another couple of probes going to get picked off. So 5 workers down. This Zergling on a little bit of a patrol as well through the top side. I was going to see charge +1 attack, etc. continuing to come on through. 2 more gateways. Like mentioned, it's just setting up into a lot of production for Classic for this mid-game. And again, he should typically be in a fairly good spot considering the damage he dealt early here. Oh, no! Okay, there's some dead airspace down here. No way is that Queen going to get in range, though. No! The last second, he kills the Prism, and the 2 Archons go down. Oh my god, those Queens. Super clutch. Wow. Suddenly this gets a bit worse for Classic, especially because soO, well, he's building that Hydra Den, so I guess he's not immediately getting, like, super hyper aggressive. Man, that Prism, the 2 Archons, that's so costly. That is so costly. 2 more cannons on the way up here. The Robo Facility also building on the natural expansion. A couple of changelings pressing forwards. Robo Facility starting up in the natural expansions. Again, that said, goes Roaches and Ravagers. They kind of come exploring through the middle of the map. 8 Hydras on the way up, 6 Roaches as well, plus 1 missile attack upgrade on the Evo. And that Groove Spines on the Hydra Den also getting ready to go. Plus 1 attack upgrade about to complete. And again, the Robo Facility, Chrono boosting out an Immortal here. Sentry is going to be finished up in a moment or so. A couple more Zealots on the way out. And the second Robo in the natural also about to complete. And that's plus 2 attack on the Forge. Starts the Chrono boost, so... And that plus 2 up and running. soO, 108 against 50 army supply. 118 against 54. I mean, he's going for this. I mean, it's interesting because he's setting up into Hydras, but he's kind of just going already with Roach Ravager. I guess he's got like... He has like 8 Hydras, but that's why I'm just like, well, why not just go with like 8 more Ravagers, like 5, 6 more Ravagers, you know? Instead of 8 Hydras. So... I'm kind of not quite convinced about the Hydras and the investment into them because you had to build a Hydra Gen and some upgrades for them. Here we go, though. so's going to try and make this work. And I mean, this is where Classic's really going to feel the lack of those 2 Archons. Corrosive Files dropping down the mineral line from Classic, already taking a lot of damage. Zealots are getting caught up on themselves. Well, those Immortals, I feel like, haven't even had a chance to get a shot off just yet. Now Roach is reinforcing that Archon on its own on the right side. It's going to have to be saved by the Prism, but Classic doesn't see it. This third Nexus is absolutely going to die before this fight is done. So soO at least getting rid of the base. As we see, the Warp Prism is being very brave, warping in at the point of Ravager Biles. GG, and soO is going to take this